Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Taylor, co-owner of Vegan Proteins Online Coaching, and I am back today with a video recipe for you. Today we are gonna be making like a trail mix bar, and this is inspired by a bar that I used to be able to find everywhere when I lived in Portland, Oregon. I don't remember the bakery that made it. I don't remember exactly what was in it, but I remember what it tasted like. And I wanted to make a healthier, higher protein version of that. And I came up with a really great recipe yesterday. Today I was talking to a client and I said, oh, you're gonna love this. And then I remembered that they are both soy-free and gluten-free. So I thought while I show you my tried and true recipe that has soy and has gluten, I'm also gonna try to make a soy-free and gluten-free version of it alongside. Because I know that in the comments, somebody is gonna say, can I make it without the vital wheat gluten? And the answer is always gonna be yes, you probably could, but then it wouldn't be a protein thing. For example, my bagels, which are one of the most popular recipes on this channel, everybody always asks me if they can use something besides vital wheat gluten. You could, but then it wouldn't be a protein bagel. Without further ado, let's get into it. I have already preheated my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I have two 9-inch by 9-inch pans with parchment paper spritzed with non-cooking spray. We are gonna go old school here, and we are gonna do a flax egg. So if it's been a minute since you made a flax egg, no worries, me too actually. So we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of flax meal. And again, I'm making 2 of these, so. And then in each of the bowls, we're gonna put 5 tablespoons of water. With a fork, you're gonna whisk this together and set it aside. After a few minutes, it should kind of turn into a little bit of a gel. What could I use in place of all-purpose flour? I didn't think of that. Let's see what I got. I guess I could use oat flour. Beautiful. In a large bowl, we are gonna do 1.5 cups of oats. And if you're doing gluten-free, make sure you get the gluten-free certified oats. Next, we're gonna do 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour and use a gluten-free flour. For this one, I'm gonna be using oat flour. People always ask about the recipes and where they can find all of our recipes all together, and the answer is they are on our website, VeganProteins.com, for our Muscles by Brussels members. So if you'd like to become a member, you get workouts every single month that change, you get access to live calls, you get all of our recipes, over 200, you get new meal plans that come out every single month that are very fun and have new recipes in them. It's really fantastic, you should check it out. So this is 3/4 cup of vital wheat gluten in here, and I'm gonna use 3/4 cup of protein powder in here. This is always so puffy. This is Plant Fusion, the OG, best protein powder. All right, I'm gonna do it this way. Can you see the protein cloud? And for anybody who's like, how do you come up with these recipes? Just like this, literally just like this. Okay, ready? I'm gonna do, I did 1 teaspoon yesterday, but I wanted it more cinnamony. So let's do like 1.5 teaspoons. So I'll do the same thing over here, 1.5. We are gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Yes, guys, I love iodized salt. Iodine is one of the #1 deficiencies that vegans have. Did you know that? Now you do. And lastly, for our dry ingredients, we are gonna do 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Mix all your dry ingredients together and set them aside. Gluten-free. Gluten-full. Okay, for our liquid, I am using 1 cup of unsweetened applesauce. You guys can see I'm not a super precise measurer, especially on things like this. One of my hobbies is making birthday cakes for people. I make everybody's birthday cake that I know, and then I am a very precise measurer. Have a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. This is not a super sweet recipe in general. You might want it to be a little bit sweeter. So you could either add more sweetener to it, or if you want to keep the calories and the macros down, you could add a stevia or a monk fruit to it. That would totally work. Okay, I just realized I don't have a yogurt that isn't soy, but I guarantee you this would come out the same if it was coconut yogurt or almond yogurt or something like that. So it's almost gluten-free and soy-free. I think the experiment still stands. So I'm gonna do a half a cup. Of course, yesterday it was less than a whole container, but today it'll be exact so that I look ridiculous pouring it into a little measuring cup just to dump it out. Beautiful. Well, I won't do that with the second one, huh? And I'm gonna let my kitty Nimble lick that container because she is on like a people food kick, big time right now. Would, huh? And a full teaspoon of vanilla.
Add your flax egg now.
Mix all your wet ingredients together. Looks good. I like that I brought 2 spoons out, like I was gonna try to not cross-contaminate them, and then I just ended up straight up putting soy yogurt in it anyway. Oh well, you guys get the idea. So gluten-full version, right here. We're gonna dump the wet into the dry, and we are gonna be careful not to over mix. We wanna mix it just enough, just till there's no dry spots. And it will be thick. This is not a thin batter. This is not brownie batter or cake batter in here. So just so you can see how thick that is, okay? Pretty thick, 90+% mixed. So I'm gonna leave it just like that. This is what I needed 2 spoons for. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Protein powder tends to suck up a lot of moisture. Okay, it's not too bad. All right, this is working. Oh, beautiful. So this one you don't have to worry about over mixing, because the reason we don't want to over mix the gluten one is because if the gluten activates too much, you will get like a tough, chewy bar. So if you don't have gluten, the gluten can't activate. Okay, now we're gonna go to our mix-ins. So I am using Soy Krispies here as the not soy-free one. It's this brand, I got it off Amazon. I'll link it in the description. I am not affiliated with them at all. This huge bag was about $29, I think. It's got 53 servings of little Krispies in it, and each serving is 20 grams of protein, 2 grams of carbs, half a gram of fat. Like, we're obsessed with them right now. We're using them all the time. 2/3 a cup. And I'm gonna put all my mix-ins on the top before I actually start mixing them in, okay? Obviously I cannot use that in the soy one, so what I'm gonna use is TVP, and we're gonna see how this works. Now, here we go. Now TVP can be made out of soy, but it can also be made out of peas. So if you're soy-free and gluten-free, or soy-free or gluten-free, you're seeing what the changes can be here. So we're gonna do 2/3 of a cup. This is entirely experimental. If this tastes terrible at the end, guys, I will let you know. I will let you know. My half cup measure is all wet, so I am gonna do raisins, a half a cup in each, chocolate chips. So I don't even know if these have soy or gluten in them, but Enjoy Life makes one that is all kinds of allergen-free, half a cup. Coconut. And guys, this is the thing about the trail mix bars, right? You can put whatever you want in them. You want cranberries instead of raisins? Put cranberries instead of raisins. You want a nut in there instead of coconut? That's totally cool too. Want to skip the chocolate chips? I'm cool with that. I like coconut in mine. And remember, I'm trying to replicate the delicious, delicious bars that I had in Portland, Oregon. Like literally, you could find them at the gas station. They were everywhere, but they were made by a local bakery. Now, we mix them in. Again, with the gluten one, try not to over mix it, but we do want everything to be pretty well incorporated. Let's start with the gluten-free, soy-free. So, I mean, this looks like a big old crumbly cookie dough right now, but it looks pretty well mixed. Okay, the gluten one, we're just a little bit gentler when we mix it. I actually don't really like to think of it as like mixing like this. I'm almost like pressing the stuff into it. So from above, you guys can see they look almost identical.
I forgot to put the flax egg in both of them.
How did I do that? What a... Imagine, imagine. Oh boy, not happy. Probably gonna end up mixing the gluten one a little bit more than I wanted to. What are you gonna do? Not forget steps in your own recipe, Danny. Yep, that would be good. But here we are. I'm sorry, gluten, I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't have 2 square 9x9" pans, so I used an 8" round for this one, which is, I believe, about the same number of square inches. So, or I'm sorry, I have that backwards, a 10" round, which I believe is the same number of square inches. But it's good because then I will be able to tell them clearly apart by looking at them. Now you can use a spoon or a spatula, or sometimes I even use my wet hands if everything is just too sticky. But you wanna make this as flat out to the edges as you can. Okay, set that one aside. Now we will do the gluten full. I'm curious to see how much the gluten-free one is gonna rise, because I know the gluten full one like rose a surprising amount. Like they were surprisingly big, you'll see. And then they are going in the oven at 350 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes, depending on your oven. And that's the gluten one. I'm gonna keep my eye on the other one to see if it takes the same amount of time. They feel like the same texture, so they probably will, but let's see. "35 minutes, these both feel completely done to me. I cut the square ones into 9. I don't know what this mess is, 12.5 or something, but if I had a regular 9x9 pan, I would have cut it into 9. So we have our gluten-free one, a little bit flatter, but it feels a little bit denser. And then we have our gluten-full one and soy-full one. So you can see significantly taller and I guess fluffier, I guess, for lack of a better word. There she is. So, chocolate chips, raisins, coconut, nice and fluffy. And I mean, it's huge. It's a decent sized thing. This one I have not tried yet. Also looks good, but different, right? But different. I will give you the macros for each of these, so I cannot believe how close they are. Usually that's not the case. So for our gluten full, we have 304 calories, 43 grams of carbohydrates, 8.5 grams of fat, and 16.2 grams of protein. For our gluten free over here, we have 311 calories, 43 grams of carbs, 9.2 grams of fat, and 16.4 grams of protein. So now the question really is, which one tastes better? Should I bring Giacomo in for this? Giacomo!
Yeah.
Taste test!
Do I get to be on in my pajamas on our YouTube channel?
I suppose you do. If that is what you so choose, my love.
I've been waiting for this moment my whole life.
Okay, so I made the same thing I made yesterday, but I remembered to put in the raisins.
Oh my gosh.
And I made a gluten-free, soy-free version.
Wait, are these the same as the ones that I've been sneakily and secretly munching on?
Yes, but this is a fresh batch, so
Okay.
let's cut them in half. So you should try the gluten-free, soy-free one first, because neither one of us has tried it. I am apprehensive. But...
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm easy to please, but I'm gonna try to be critical here. Let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah?
Comparing it to gluten-free.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm actually super pleasantly surprised. I usually do not like gluten-free desserts very much.
I don't mind them as much.
This is great. Do you know what's in it instead of soy Krispies?
Instead of soy Krispies, are they those edamame
That would be soy
crisps?
Krispies.
Oh, those are soy. Yeah, duh. No, what's in them?
TVP. Interesting, right?
What would happen if you used texture pea protein in these?
That's what it is, sweetheart.
You said TVP. Oh,
I'm
duh.
done. I'm done.
That's good. Give me the next one. I need something fresh.
I want this one because it looks chocolatier.
Why do you get the extra chocolatey one?
I'll give it to you because I love you. Ready? Cheers. So this is the gluten-full, soy-full one.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I still prefer this one, but talking with my mouth full.
I don't know. This one's a little bit on the sweeter side, like almost too sweet compared to the other one, but if you have a sweet tooth, this will hit the spot.
You must have just gotten an extra chocolatey bite because
You
they
love
have the
me.
exact same amount of sweetener in them. In fact, this one should be a little bit sweeter because of whatever sweetener, like sweetness is in the protein powder.
I'm trying to find a way to get my hands off the food
Okay.
because it's that good.
So thank you, Giacomo, for your insight. That was fantastic.
Well, thank you.
We love it. Okay. If you guys give this a try, let me know. I am really, really happy with this recipe. It is very close to what I remember in Portland. I still think maybe it could use a tiny bit more cinnamon, actually. The cinnamon was important. But, you know, it's not a protein bar. It doesn't have 25 grams of protein. It doesn't have no carbs. But to me, this actually just tastes like dessert. Like this is dessert worthy, but it's got lots of healthy ingredients. It's got protein, it's got fiber. We love it. So if you're interested in more high protein vegan recipes, we've been putting out a lot more of them since Alice started making videos as well. Hers are great, check them out. And if you are interested in joining Muscles by Brussels, you get a free month at the link in the description below. If you like the video, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things I'm supposed to tell you to do at the end of a YouTube video, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.